But on a cruise, you I didn't get the internet package, so you have no access to emails, the real world. It is a unplugged vacation, and it's a pleasure. That's what I love about it.
Boy, unplugging from some tech right now sounds really awesome. Hey, Disney geeks, Curtis Stone here, host of the Geekin' on Walt Disney World podcast. Sometimes the best Disney vacations aren't about checking off every attraction or rushing from one thing to the next. Sometimes they're about slowing down, unplugging from work, finding a quiet place to watch the sunrise with a cup of coffee, and spending uninterrupted time with someone you love. This week, I'm joined by longtime Disney geek and good friend Jen Batchelder, as she shares the story of a relaxing 5-night Disney cruise line sailing aboard the Disney Fantasy with her daughter Peyton. From spa days and adult-only spaces to Lookout Key, Castaway Key, trivia competitions, espresso martinis, and some unexpected shark drama. This cruise ended up being exactly the recharge Jen needed. And honestly, it's also a great reminder that Disney vacations can look very different depending on where you are in life. If you're thinking about planning your next Disney vacation in some epic universe, my wife Margita and our good friend Auntie Judy are traveling Sierras, your trusted Disney travel planners. Whether you're booking Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Universal, or beyond, they'll help you plan a smart, stress-free vacation from start to finish. Are you already booked? No problem. You can transfer your reservation to us and still get expert tips, strategy, and support. It's a great way to support the show. Get started. Email us, travelandtiers@gmail.com, or reach out on Facebook Messenger. And right now, there are great opportunities for upcoming travel, and it's a perfect time to start planning. And thank you, everyone. Margie's telling me she's been very busy over this past week, so I thank you all so much for contacting us. Now, this episode is packed. We got a mother-daughter Disney Cruise Line adventure aboard the Disney Fantasy. First impressions of Lookout Key and why it made such an impact. The adult-only areas, spa experiences, and peaceful mornings that made this trip special. Disney Cruise dining, favorite treats, and a surprising food highlight. Cruise trivia, martini tasting, and some hilarious travel mishaps. Castaway Key stories, including an unexpected shark sighting. As always, this episode becomes more than a ship, an island, or a vacation. It's about stepping away from the stresses of everyday life. It's about reconnecting with the people who matter most. It's about slowing down long enough to appreciate a sunrise, a conversation, a laugh, or simply sitting together and enjoying the moment. And sometimes, those are the moments that last the longest. All right, Disney geeks, grab a coffee, find a comfy chair on deck, imagine yourself there, and let's set sail aboard the Disney Fantasy together. I'm excited to do a trip report with an old pal. She's back again. Can't wait to talk to her. Jen, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Good to see you in the Enchanted Tiki room once again.
Yes, you are. And then my new Jonathan Groff Just in Time poster. You see it?
Very good. I know who Jonathan Groff
so
is. That's
yeah.
right. You're a Broadway fan.
Yep. We came up to New York to see that one.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, we usually see shows at the Hippodrome in Baltimore. It's usually the traveling cast.
I think I can give you my daughter's take on that Broadway.
Just in Time.
Yeah. Let me see if you agree. You probably maybe you won't agree. She's very rough in her descriptions
Well,
sometimes.
if she was rough at all, I do not agree. I thought it was the best thing I ever he was
Uh,
so good.
well,
But I'm not go ahead, what did she say?
all right. Yes, he is so good. Everyone goes to see him, she said, but
Yes.
I think the story or something about it wasn't really that great.
Oh, okay. Well, I like how they told it. I mean, he had Bobby Darin had a tragic life.
Okay.
Um, so I liked how they told it, but I love going to New York theaters because 'cause they're so intimate, and I'm not used to that. Our Hippodrome is pretty big,
Right.
and this was at the theater in the Round, and I think we were in row 14, and we were the last row. So he was I mean, Jonathan Groff, I mean, you were close enough to be spit on. It was just so close, and I love that. And we also had a ton of lychee martinis at the dim sum place before we went there, so that probably affected my outlook on it.
Well, I'm not that big of a Broadway expert to know Jonathan Groff all that well, other than he was the original king in
Yeah.
Hamilton, and everyone told me, "Go see Hamilton, it's great," and I heard it for several years before I ended up going, and I absolutely loved it.
It's it's in our Hippodrome subscription in, the next season, next year's season, so I'm excited. I have not seen it on stage. I've watched a million course, but I haven't seen it on stage yet.
Oh, wow, okay, great.
Yeah, so excited. We'll see it in Baltimore.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, but you went on a cruise, and the reason I know this, if my memory is correct, did you book with the Travel and Tiaras? Because Margita told me, "You gotta talk to Jen, she went on a cruise."
Yes, yes. Judy, and Margita helped me, get it booked, and then when I decided to book the pre-transportation from the airport, they helped me with that as well.
Hmm.
It went very smoothly.
What cruise did you go on? Which ship? Where'd you
I was
leave from?
on the Fantasy, and it was a Bahamas 5-night cruise, and we went to Nassau, Lookout Key, and Castaway Key.
I like it.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Now, I know you're a Disney World fan, but are you a beach fan too?
That is the only I have a huge fear of sharks, and I won't go in any water, and I'm not even that much of a fan of sand, but I will go on those 2 islands and go in the water, not a problem whatsoever. That's the only place I like the beach.
Alright, I think I'm older than you, but I love your comment, you have a huge fear of sharks
And
because
it's directly related to being 7 years old and going to the theater to see Jaws, directly. Absolutely.
we're from the generation then that
Uh-huh,
is scared of going in the water because of the
yeah,
movie Jaws.
entire generation.
I saw it on HBO. Um,
Well, I'll tell you later when we kinda recap Castaway Key, but there ended up being an issue on that island.
so if anything touches your toes under the water, you're
Whew. And I think that's why I like the water down there so much, it's so clear.
that's
You can see it coming.
hopefully somebody's out there looking for the
They
sharks.
they are on a on jet skis patrolling, yes.
Okay. I love that comment, yeah, because I think HBO had just kinda come out that was, like, the featured movie when HBO started, and to see Jaws on television was a big deal, but scares the bejesus out of you.
Absolutely does.
I
Do
didn't
you
even
remember
wanna
did you read it? That's even more terrifying.
I've heard that. I don't think believe I've ever read it, but I didn't even wanna go in my backyard pool, Jen, I think after the I'm
It
telling you,
affected us.
this
It
is
definitely affected our generation.
that's the kind of fear it instilled in me. Oh,
That's right.
well, I used to do a lot of swimming. I would run, or we used to hang out at this pond that was a couple miles from my house, and there was a town beach there, but on the other side was the dam where the cool kids hung out, and I would go swimming there. They had rocks you could jump off. You had a rope you could jump off of, and we had snapping turtles that were probably more fearful than Jaws, but I never had a problem, although a little bit in my back. I mean, you hear those freshwater sharks get sharks get into fresh
That
water.
that's how Jaws got I mean, if they based the story on a shark in the early 1900s that had gotten up through
Yeah.
some fresh water.
I know in New Jersey that happened.
Yeah, that was what it was based on.
Yeah, we heard about that from going to Wildwood, New Jersey. They had that. You're right. I know, and there
I
was a
think
little
it
bit of a scene of that in Jaws too, where he's going up the an area
Yep,
that's outside of the
yep,
ocean. But anyways, all right. So we're going on a cruise. So what made now you went with your daughter?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I went with, Chuck and I took for our 30th anniversary 2 years ago, we took a cruise, our neighbors were going on the Wish to get their, platinum status. They wanted a cruise, so they were going on a quick 4-night cruise, and we said we'd go with them, and that was on the Wish. It had just, not just, but it was fairly new, and my husband didn't love it. It's kinda like he was tolerant of it, but the Wish has a kind of a not great layout. It everywhere you go feels crowded and feels like there's a kid in front of you, which it's a Disney cruise, so of course there's gonna be kids. But their adult area, that Wish class, the Triton class, their Triton class? I think that's what it's called. Um, their adult areas are just kind of subpar. They're small, um, they feel very crowded. They feel like an afterthought off on the side of in the front of the ship. So, I wanted to go back. I loved it, but I me and my husband I didn't want my husband to go again. He just had more fun doing something else. So my 26-year-old, Peyton said, "Of course I'll come with you,
Yeah.
mom."
Yeah, and you
But
guys had a great trip recently
yeah,
to Disney World too.
we travel really well together.
That's fun. I love that.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of fun. But my, friend Georgie, who I always travel with too, um, and her daughter ended up booking, like, 6 months after Peyton and I did and coming with us.
Oh, good.
And Georgie runs a nonprofit who actually Delaney and Peyton work for. So, the 3 of them work together, and Georgie and I always travel together, and I watched Delaney and Peyton grow up, so it was a lot of fun.
That I love this dynamic.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. They were on a different, deck than ours, they were up on 10 because she booked so much later, um, but it just worked out really well, and all of us have fairly high stress consuming jobs, so a cruise was just the amount of relaxation was the perfect answer for us.
Yeah, you still been I know I've traded those thoughts on stressful.
Mhm.
I'm going through a little bit of that myself. It was impacting my last Disney World trip a little bit more than I try not to let that happen. Are you able to like I know you're busy and you got stuff when you got coming back. Are you able to leave that last hour at
Well,
the job
that's
and
another thing it's a little hellish a couple weeks before I leave and a little hellish about a week after I get back when I get caught up. But on a cruise, you I didn't get the internet package, so you have no access to emails, the real world. It is a unplugged vacation, and it's a pleasure. That's what I love about it.
that's great. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
you can yeah, like you said, you can prepare all you can before you leave, let everyone know, try to button things up as much as you can. You just gotta leave it there,
yeah.
right? And
You
mentally,
yeah,
yeah.
you do.
I think that's the best thing. And I don't know if I mentioned it in my circumstance, things that I were worried about didn't end up being a problem.
Well, there you go.
Bottom line was there was nothing I could have done if I was at work to make things progress any better. So
So there you go.
there,
Yeah, we definitely have to, be able to walk away from that because if you live in the stress we live in all the time, it's too much.
yeah, it's the whole reason for vacation to break through. And my work is typically our management is very, very good about that, saying
Yeah.
no, like no, that's not our culture.
Same with mine. We have a, pipeline. Each of us have a pipeline.
Mm,
I'm in the mortgage business, and, they provide coverage buddies that my loan officers can go to if they need something done, for urgent cases.
right.
Um, and it is miserable when you're covering for somebody, but you're so grateful for that coverage
I love
when
it.
you go
Yeah.
that you just
Yeah, you don't mind covering for others because you know
eh
they got your back. That's great. All right,
yeah.
so we're gonna set up this trip a little more and the expectations. So before you step on the ship, what were you most excited about?
That, relaxing,
Yeah.
seeing Lookout Key because it was not, open when we went in, 2024, right? Yeah, or our cruise didn't go there or something. It was the first time I was at Lookout, and the only other time I'd sailed Disney Cruise Line, my kids were Peyton was 4 and Jake was 8. So it was a long time. There was only one ship at the time. It was the Magic. It was the original ship.
Hmm.
And we did, I think, the Eastern Caribbean. Yeah, it was the Eastern Caribbean. Um so I knew I loved it, but and I knew I loved the Wish, but I was really excited about the adult only areas on the Fantasy and being with Peyton and not I just don't have to worry about
Hmm.
her.
Yeah.
Like, she'll tell me if she doesn't wanna do anything, like, there's just no figuring out. It's just so relaxed, and we just kinda like to do the same things. We had gotten the length of cruise pass to the rainforest room, which is in their spa, and I was really looking forward to that, and just relaxing, mostly just relaxing.
Oh, we'll dig more into those as we get
Yeah.
into
Yes.
how how you were to work on those expectations while you were there. So if you had to describe the cruise in 3 words, what would they be?
For me, it was, just kind of filled my cup back up, the relaxation part of it. I know I keep saying that, but I don't necessarily there's so much to do on a Disney cruise, especially if you have kids. Like, I don't wait in line to see characters, but I am so happy to pass Captain Minnie and just be like, "Hey, girl." You know what I mean? I love that she's around, and I love the Disney standards and everything about it,
Hmm.
but we just kind of go away from that, so what I get out of a Disney cruise is probably different than somebody that goes with kids go, so I describe it more as relaxing, just very happy, and you just felt taken care of the whole time. Like, you get really close with your room steward who makes up your room every day after you leave for the day. He knows when you're eating. He knows what you're gonna do for the day because you just have
Yeah.
conversations with him. Um,
Yeah. So I'm gonna
you're
uh,
always just taken care of.
I hear relaxation, which is a theme I hear a lot about cruises
Mhm.
because Judy tells me every day. And and then, yeah, just that Disney feel is still there even though you're not in the parks.
It is, and
That
I love movies and music and,
Yeah,
trivia, and they have all those things at any given time that you can dip in and out of.
and service, and
Yeah,
probably I could understand it because they have a controlled atmosphere more so than even the parks. They can really spoil you rotten.
they do.
Mm, those are 3 good ones.
Yeah.
Alright, now let's talk about your first impressions. What was your wow? We're really on a Disney cruise moment.
I think it was probably the adult only area because that had been such a disappointment on the Wish. I knew it was bigger, but I didn't really understand the scale of it. So when I saw it, it's called the funnel puddle, I think. So a little like 4-inch sitting in pool, and then down outside of Cove Cafe, they have a deeper pool and then a swim up bar pool. And then you can go up to the front of the ship and there's a whole nother area oh, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and private hot tubs where I think there's just one hot tub on the Wish. Um, yeah, it's quite nice. And I think that was it, but the lobby is amazing. The lobby has each lobby has its own signature chandelier, and looks like a big peacock
mm,
vibe coming down. It's just gorgeous. The lobby was just incredible.
isn't it hard to describe
Yeah.
the beauty of some of these places we go to, the resorts in Florida? I
Yeah.
mean, you're talking about the ship, and I was trying to when I was in the Epic universe, I'm like, "How am I gonna describe this?" I mean, is blowing my mind, but I don't know if I have the ability to describe it in a
That's
way that you
that's
can.
how, we struggled with Lookout, Key. We tried taking pictures, and I'm like, nothing we take captures the beauty of the island, the blue of the water, how the ship looks. So the ship is at the end of a pier. So even when you're coming back and you look at that ship at the end of the pier and all the blue water that's in between it, it's just incredible.
Yeah. I wish I could bottle up so I could explain it to people.
I
I
know, and
don't
then I'm like, "Well, just don't worry about it. Just
maybe
enjoy it.
maybe I should do a
Like, soak
video.
it in."
Maybe we should do a video podcast one of these days.
I don't I don't even know. I'm sure there's cameras now that will capture it, but
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes that
it's
can't
just
even
hard to describe.
do it justice. Now, I know this has been many years ago when I went on my honeymoon in Jamaica, but it did impress me when they had a pool bar and you could sit on a stool in the water. Is that what you're talking about at this
Yeah,
lounge?
yeah, so the adult only the main pool for the adults, has a deeper area and then a, tanning ledge where you can just sit, and then another tanning ledge and the bar's at the end of that. So the bar stools aren't completely submerged, but they're up the bar meets the pool,
Yeah.
and your feet are in the water when you're sitting at those bar stools.
Is that where you spent a lot of your time on the ship?
We did. With between that and the spa, we didn't do I'm telling you, we didn't do the typical. We only made the main dining room, 2 out of 5 nights.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't, do what people typically did. We'd either get room service or, um I thought we could handle the later dining because I felt we had early dining on the Wish, and I felt like we were kind of, rushing through things to have to stop and get ready for dinner. So I don't know what part of me thought that eating at 8:30 when that's my normal, like, getting close to bedtime,
Yeah.
that all of a sudden that would work for me. I'm not sure who thought about that, but
That's a
didn't
good
work.
yeah, I agree with you. Margit and I felt guilty some nights. We were getting back to the room at 7, 8 o'clock, which seemed like so late, but we were rope dropping too, so, that's it feels
Oh,
good to get a
I
good
didn't feel guilty about it.
it's nice to get a good night's sleep and get up and go
It
at it
is
again.
so and that's my favorite thing to do on the ship is walk it in the morning, and that's the other the thing that's nice about the Dream and the Fantasy is they have a deck 4 that goes all the way around. It has a walking and
Mhm.
jogging trail, and Fantasy doesn't or the Wish class does not have those. You have to, like, stop and go up a stair, like, it's very cut
Yeah.
off. So I'd get up every morning and be walking while I watch the sun, but then walk
Mm.
through the lobby area in the interior of the ship, and I have a like 30-second video of the lobby with the music playing and the chandelier and not a single person in it. It was just so peaceful in the
You
mornings.
you remind me of Bubba's Zen moments in the parks.
Yes, exactly.
Those quiet moments, and I love mornings. Ah, man, yeah, I would love
I
that.
love mornings too.
A little walk.
Yep.
I I cherish those moments. Yeah, nobody's around.
Yeah, those were probably some of my favorite moments.
All right, what surprised you most about the ship that you weren't expecting?
Um, Probably how good the pool deck food and the buffet food was. I didn't think we'd spend that much time at the buffet, um, because that's just not I get a thing about germs, but it was really good food. Um, the service shouldn't have surprised me. I should have expected it, but the cast members were just lovely.
Mhm.
They were wonderful.
Yeah, you were talking about missing the sit-down dinners, but, you know, the other comment I was thinking of when we really enjoyed our beach vacations down in south of Jersey at Cape May Wildwood,
Mhm.
and we always laugh. Margina always laughed. We always laughed because we were on vacation in a vacation place, a resort, really atmosphere. We laughed even when we were dating, and then when we got married, and we're starting to even take the kids. We always struck out at dinner. Like dinners were never good down there. I mean,
It's touristy. We have Ocean City, Maryland
touristy,
right now,
yeah.
and it's just too touristy. If you go to the crab houses and It's
uh,
where everybody goes.
over many years, we found a couple of things, and then we got into a routine. Like, we really like the Lobster House in Cape May. When you go into Cape May, the Lobster House is really cool because they have, like, a wholesale fish food, they have a fancy dinner place, and they have a deck where you can just shuck and eat your yeah, clams
You
and
gotta
stuff.
find where the locals go.
Yeah, and it's just have beers and just have a good time, and
Right.
but I say all that to say it's fun to not have a scheduled thing to do, and you're just, like, you're eating when you feel like it.
Exactly. That's what we did because we'd go to it's called Cove Cafe, and it's where you can get your specialty coffees, your lattes. They have the best espresso martini, I think, on the ship. So we would get those every day about 2 o'clock, and they have this case of beautiful pastries, and it's all included. So you just need to point at what you want. But they had this cranberry slice that was so good. So we'd go every day till about 2 o'clock and get our espresso martinis and cranberry slices, and then you're just not hungry, that hungry after that. Just
Uh,
get the pool deck food or whatever's easy.
yeah, just laid back, relaxed
Yes.
atmosphere. You find things that you like.
Yes, and the thought of changing again for dinner too was never attractive. Like getting ready again at 8 o'clock at night never quite clicked with us.
Was there a spot on the ship that became your favorite place to just sit, relax, or soak it all in?
Yeah, that was the rainforest room we spent. So when you walk into the spa, they have a gym and then they have massage rooms, but then they have the rainforest room, which is across from the locker rooms. And when you walk in, they have um, tea, coffee, flavored waters, these showers that all have different pressures and temperatures, and then three different steam rooms or saunas, and then no, two saunas, two steam rooms, and then a room of heated tile loungers. And it's the most comfortable lounger you can think of, made of tiles, and they're very, very, very warm. So that looks over the front of the ship, but it also overlooks the next room, which is all clear, all windows, and then that has two hot tubs in it. And that's looking out over the front of the ship. But it's sheltered by a wall of windows, but the top third of the windows is open, so you have ocean air coming in, but not so much that you're getting blown away. But you just have that you can just smell the fresh ocean air mixed with the spa smell. And we we would go on our at sea day. I think we were down there by like 8:30 just reading in the tile loungers and then kind of hopping in between saunas and hot tubs and we spent so much time in there.
I'm getting so relaxed. You just did an awesome job describing all I like just sitting here going, "Yeah, I like."
That was our vibe. I'd get up every morning and go walk and just explore the ship early. You can set out, a room service note the night before. You have to put it out before, like, 3 a.m., and you can check off coffee, you can get a nice continental breakfast, fruit, pastries, um, bagels, cereal, things like that. So every night we would put it out and get a full pot of coffee and fruit and croissants. And then we just watched either docking, if we were docking that day at an island, or just get up early and well, I'd already been up, but Peyton would get up and we'd have coffee out on the deck and then stroll into the rainforest.
These are all my happy places.
Right.
Coffee, croissants, re
Yes.
relaxing.
It was very relaxing.
One of my one of the things my bugaboos is bad fruit. I bet the fruit though on this
It was very good.
is
I'm
like,
I'm picky. I'm picky about
you never get
fruit.
a bad piece of fruit?
Yep.
Uh,
No, in fact, we skeptically because 'cause we're on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and we have really good, like, cantaloupe and honeydew in the summers, and we were very skeptical looking at it. We're like, "Is this gonna be underdone?" But it was pretty good.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're talking about the watermelons that come up from Florida around this we're Marquise says, "We gotta go to Aldi soon because we gotta get watermelon."
it's almost
We've
time.
had
It's almost watermelon.
really good luck with Aldi watermelons in the last couple of years, so
Oh, that's good to know.
we're excited about that. And it's so disappointing when you have a bad piece of fruit,
Yes,
but so great
it
when you
is.
when
It
it's
is.
good.
Luckily, we did not have to struggle through that. Our fruit balcony was quite nice.
Now I've seen you and Peyton together, and there's just joy in your eyes. You guys, I mean, you look like mother-daughter, but cool mother-daughter, like,
Yeah.
just, like, having fun, and a lot of people talk about this that are Disney adults, and they've raised their kids, and they've taken their kids, and they wonder, will they still wanna hang out with mom and even dad when they get older? So this is really cool. I love this relationship that you have. So let's think about some of the stories that came out of your time together. What's that favorite memory that you had with your daughter on this entire cruise?
It was probably, all the time we spent together. We'd eat, um, especially that quiet time, we're just sitting by each other and reading. But we out on lookout, we went out and bobbed in the water for, like, an hour and a half, and she's not used to me being in salt water because
Yeah.
I don't do that. So that was really nice. Um, yeah, we just had a lot, we laughed a lot.
Well, that was gonna be one of my questions. Was there a moment where you found yourself laughing uncontrollably?
Mhm, mhm, yeah. We, we got lost. We stayed the night before at the MCO Hyatt, and I highly recommend if anybody books a cruise. This I think it's, $350, but I think that includes the transportation. Want to double check with Margita and Judy. Um, but you fly in the day before, and then, just grab your bags, go straight up to the Hyatt, check in. It was about 4:35. They have a surprisingly good restaurant called McCoy's, I think it is. Fresh. They have a sushi chef in there making, poke bowls and fresh sushi and brick oven pizzas, and it was so good. I was very surprised. You don't expect a Hyatt restaurant to be that good. And then we just kind of explored around, went to bed early because we had to have our bags out early in the morning for them to take to the ship. Um, got our bags out in the morning. And then the next day, we tried to get down to Starbucks to grab breakfast before it was time to meet up for the cruise. So you meet up with the Disney reps and you can check in at the MCO Hyatt. You can do your passport and your boarding pass thing. So you're just kind of like fast passed right onto the ship when you take care of all that at the Hyatt. But Peyton and I got turned around and we were trying to get the elevator situation was terrible. There was always like 30 people waiting for the elevator. So we finally found the steps to walk downstairs, so we'd walk down, like, 6 flights, and we came out, and I'm like, "I have no idea where we're going. I think this is an emergency door." We popped out, and you know when you are coming back through security, when you land and you take the tram and you're coming back through security about to make the right, and the Starbucks is right there on the right,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's bathrooms down there?
Yeah.
We popped out, somehow that door came was right next to Starbucks. I opened the door and the security lady was standing right there, and I looked at her and she looked at me. She's like, "Where are you coming from?" And I was like, "I have no idea. I have no idea how we even got there." But we laughed so hard. But yeah, it was pretty joyous the whole time. It was just very relaxed, and Georgie and Delaney being there with us the whole time. We had a lot of laughs. We
Um,
talked a lot about them in high school, Delaney and Peyton in high school, and we learned a lot that we did not know before.
actually, you just right. I was gonna ask you, did you discover anything new about your daughter while you were traveling together?
Yeah. More about Georgie's daughter, but yeah, we did. But we're old
Yeah,
enough to handle that now.
yeah, they confess things when they're older.
They do, and what they do is
Uh,
nothing compared to what I did, so I don't judge.
okay.
Would I would have judged then had I known, but I don't now. I'm thankful we made it through.
That's right. No, I like the logistics you're talking about there. I was gonna ask, but I think you said it's Disney transportation too.
It's
Yeah.
Disney transportation, and what it also does, it gives you, I am as Castaway Club member, silver status, which puts you one step above people who've never sailed and basically doesn't get you anything.
Ah,
Um, but when you when you take transportation, I think from the resorts or from the MCO Hyatt, it automatically assigns you a boarding group number 3, which is pretty early. Georgie has never sailed on Disney, so I think we got on the ship at like 11:30, and Georgie didn't get on until like 1:30. So she was like a
Mm,
full 2 hours
mm.
behind.
Yeah, number 3 sounds like it was the 3rd one, the 3rd
Yeah,
boarding group.
yeah, that makes sense, right?
According to my math, but who knows?
But
Been all
I think the only people in front of that is like platinum.
okay.
Concierge goes
Gotcha,
first, and
gotcha.
then platinum,
Yeah,
and then it
alright.
sounded like gold and gold and silver.
I like easy logistics, so that's a great
That whatever that is extra, I'm sure there's ways you can book transportation to and from the port. The way I travel and the way my anxiety is about around traveling, it's worth every
yeah.
penny.
I'm with you there. I don't like getting back to my thing about leaving work. I don't want something to go wrong where my vacation gets cut short or
No, it means too much,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, it's too yeah. Yeah, that's what it is, I guess.
Yep.
So important.
I do everything I can to avoid that.
And I know that people say if you're doing a cruise, don't show up the day of.
Oh
Show up
god, no.
day before.
I could never.
Yeah. Well, you could have a canceled flight or some kind of
You absolutely could. In fact, I just, listened to another podcast I listened to, there was a lady and she did everything right. She tried to fly in the day before, but there was storms and her flight kept getting more and more delayed, and then they finally went to a hotel and got booked on the next day, and as soon as they got to the airport the next day, it started getting delayed and delayed and delayed again. They started communicating with Disney Cruise Line, who was said, "This is our drop dead sale date. Like, we get penalized for being here, money-wise. We get penalized for being here
mm,
beyond this time, but we're gonna wait as long as we can for you." Like, they tried everything they could, and she literally showed up as the ship was sailing away.
wow.
So so you can still do everything right, and
Yeah,
that's what for those kinda when you put out that kinda money for a trip, you definitely need to get the trip insurance.
right. Okay. Let's talk about food and fun.
Food and fun. Like I said, we only ate 2 out of 5 nights in the main dining room. We ate at Animator's Palette and Royal Court. We did have breakfast twice at Royal Court. And they're beautiful. They're not as themed as the new ships, their dining rooms are, but they're beautiful and classic, and you have, the same wait staff who we had to keep assuring that we loved him. We just couldn't eat dinner at 8:30 at night. Um, so that you've got, like, a different menu every night. You revisit on the 5 nights, you revisit a restaurant twice, which we did not do. But the food is excellent. You know, you can order 2 of something, or even if another dining room is having something, that's on the menu, they can bring it over for you. The pool deck has, Donald's Cantina. I'm gonna name them wrong, but there's a place, Tomater's Pizza, that was a grill. It's like pizzas, hamburgers, and hot dogs. Then there's like a cantina Chipotle type place where you can make bowls.
Mm,
And then a sandwich and wrap place, salads, and I'm forgetting one. I can't remember what it is. Um, they have soft served ice cream, so you can get soft serve anytime you want. That's included. They have a fancier candy shop and ice cream place that costs a little bit. Then you can always get the pastries at the Cove Cafe, and then the buffet is open breakfast and lunch. It's not open for dinner. And there's always at lunch, there's always crab claws, and they were not the king crab claws, they were the stone crab claws, and shrimp. Um, and there's usually a theme, and then there's yeah, they switched those out a little bit, but breakfast was always delicious. Nice
oh,
hot breakfast stuff. They had, usually on your last day, they have churro waffles, so it's a Mickey waffle, but dressed like a churro with the cinnamon sugar, and then I think they might even deep fry it again after the cinnamon
mm.
sugar. It's pretty good.
I've heard about those.
Pretty decadent.
They sound pretty good, and so what do you
Yeah.
think was the best thing you ate all week?
That cranberry slice from Cove Cafe. I had one or 2 of those every day, maybe 2.
Oh, so
They're
that's like
so
a
good.
Danish?
It's like a bar,
Yeah,
like a cookie bar. It's almost like an underdone consistency like a cake ball is.
right.
You know what I mean? A
Yeah,
cake pop. You
cake
know how
yeah,
it's, like, slightly underdone?
yeah.
Yeah, but it's very good. Peyton, I asked her briefly before she called me before I got on with you, and she said, "Don't forget to mention the popcorn. It is definitely not Disney Parks popcorn." It was not good.
Oh, it wasn't good, okay.
No, not
Interesting.
buttery, salty at all. We went to the movies one night. We hadn't seen Hoppers yet, and they show a lot of first run movies, but they also show some classics.
Mm.
So we went to Hoppers one night.
That was one of my next questions. Was there an activity or entertainment that you really
Yeah, so
enjoyed?
they do 3 shows. We only went to one we went to Frozen in person, but you can which was really good. Um,
Like a Broadway
Mhm.
show, right? Frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep. But short. They're like an hour
But,
long.
I tell you, when Lindsay and I went to see Frozen in Hartford at the Bushnell, on the way there, she said, "Dad," because I was kinda like, "Alright." I mean, Frozen's kind of for little kids. It's kind of my head, right? I mean, the music actually, I like the music right from the beginning. But she
Mhm.
says, "Dad, I'm reading about the woman," now I can't remember her name. She played, like, the star lead in Wicked on Broadway, this woman, who was on the traveling tour. And that's kinda typical. They'll do the main song, "Let It Be,"
Yeah.
"Let it go, let it be." That's from
Let me
Beatles.
that's another band, maybe you've heard of them.
I've been listening to a lot of Beatles lately because of my grandson.
Oh,
He loves the
that's
Beatles. We got a Beatles book for his birthday.
oh, nice.
I'm very
You gotta
proud.
teach him because he's not gonna hear it.
Uh, and he does air guitar, I've learned at his birthday party, which is super cute.
Very
But
good.
anyways, Let It Go. So
Let it
how
go.
did the performance of Frozen when they did Let It Go?
V the lots of talent,
Good.
high level talent.
I love it.
Um,
Love it.
the other show was Aladdin, we did not go to that, and then they have a Just for the Ship, show called Believe, and it's, about a dad who's a scientist, and he's not spending enough quality time with his daughter who just believes in magic and all the things, and he goes through a process
Yeah.
and every single character parades out. I mean, there's Peter Pan, there's Cinderella, there's all everybody comes out. And we ended up watching that. They show them in your stateroom too on the
Like
television
closed circuit?
as
Like
they're
live?
playing.
Oh,
Mhm. Yep.
damn.
So we were packing, to put our bags out, and I think we just ordered room service that night and watched it on TV. Oh, I think her and Delaney, were gonna go to 2010's music trivia, that night. So I think we were packing and they were going to 10, which they thought they would dominate. But whatever you think you know about trivia or whatever you think you know about a topic, there's going to be people on a Disney cruise that know so much more than you do.
You think you're smart till you hang out with
My goodness. But that we were at a Disney Toons trivia, which I was like, we shouldn't embarrass. Like, I know a lot of Disney music, I listen to it all the time. I should be okay. Well, it was a piano player who would just play, like he's
2
like, "Let's make it challenging and play 6 notes." And I had this family come in and the dad sat down with us. He goes, "Do you need help?" And I'm like, "Yes, we need help." It was like the Huffalump song from Winnie the Pooh. Had to figure that out on 6 notes. They did music from Newsies on the piano, but this guy knew so much, so I thought we had done pretty well. This other group got 20, I think it was 20/20. I think we got 16 out of 20, they got 20 out of 20, and we were walking out with them, and I'm like, "Congrats, that's impressive." And he's like, "Yeah, we don't necessarily know the songs, but we cruise so much that we go to all the trivias and we learn." I'm like, "Well, that's
That's
awesome,
cheating.
okay." But they're the people cruise 10 times a year on Disney.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well,
I'm not one to yuck somebody else's yum, but I think you could. let somebody else get one of those little plastic medallions once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I don't like competition anymore. I'd had enough of my competition in my younger days. I'm done with it.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, the entertainment was trivia was really good. The entertainment staff that does the trivia and the bingo, um, is just top notch. They're a lot of fun.
Well, was there a cast member or crew member that made a lasting impression on you?
Our dining team, even though we only saw them 3 times, we saw them for breakfast too. They were great. You really do. And my room steward, um, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. I gave him all the cast compliments. You have to be very careful to do your cast compliments, your survey. They give you a survey to do, and that leaving day is so hectic that sometimes you don't. But once you leave the ship's Wi-Fi, you can't go back and do it. So you
Oh,
have to make sure you do it. Um, the hell was his name? We saw him like 3 times a day. He was so great. Um,
that's good.
and like I said, just made us feel so well taken care of.
Huh, love it.
He was wonderful.
Well, maybe we've already said everything, but is there something that Disney Cruise Line does better than anyone else?
Um, I've only been on one other cruise on our honeymoon, and that was 32 years ago, and I was much easier to please than probably. My standards were probably lower, and it was lovely. I don't have a desire to go on another cruise line. I'd like to get to a higher status. Um, I'd like to get to gold status, which actually doesn't really it gets you, like, 2 days earlier on the checking in process, but I'll never not take transportation to get me there early anyway, so, um, I wish they would, if on future ships, like, go back to the fantasy and the dream and even the magic and wonder, the first 2 ships, they're adult only areas, and I know it's a Disney cruise ship and it's for the kids, um, but I do think they have a lot of Disney adults that appreciates those, and I hear a lot of feedback about the disappointment in the wish classes with the adult only areas.
Uh,
So I wish they'd kind of turn their focus to that.
and thinking of the destinations, anything that you wanna highlight from
Lookout
Lookout?
Key, if I don't feel like Nassau is personally, we didn't feel like Nassau was a reason like, we enjoy the ship. We enjoy the things that are on the ship. We enjoy being on the ship. So Nassau was not we didn't even step foot off there. Lookout Key, you have to spend as much time as possible.
How
And
come?
we did go back probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours before sail away, and we went up top on the 11th and got drinks and just sat and watched the island and then watched us sail away from the island. I love that. Nassau, they have their port area does have like, if you just wanna get off and get your passport stamped, I don't even know if they do that, but you can get off in the port area, and they really have improved that area. And they have vendors in there, but it's sort of a controlled, clean area.
Mm,
Castaway Key, my memory we went in May, we went out to Serenity Bay. I don't love their Serenity Bay on Castaway Key as much because there's a lot of, beach erosion back there, so a lot of the, lounge chairs kinda sit up on a hill.
huh,
And it's just it's y well, I guess it's meant to feel isolated, but it feels very isolated. It feels like you just it's the end of the island. Um That morning, we woke up and we're having breakfast, and storms were kinda rolling in, and we didn't know if they were gonna clear up or not, so we all decided that, why don't we were all ready to, get out in the sun, so why don't we post up at the adult pool, look at the island, and just kinda see what the weather does. So we did that, and we went, grabbed a couple loungers that looked right over the island, which was just amazing, and ended up going down for lunch to the cabanas, which was completely empty. The entire ship was pretty much empty because everybody was down on the island. We ended up going back down to the rainforest room for a little while, and then just kind of back and forth to the 2 different adult pools, and it was the best day. We never the sun came out, it was a beautiful day, but we were enjoying the empty ship so much, we just stayed and never really saw people. We're like, "There's so few people in the water." We couldn't figure out why. And then, Karen Days texted me and said, "I heard about Castaway. I'm so sorry about that." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "The shark." And I'm like, "The shark? What?" The tide had gotten so high when the storms came in that apparently a mother and baby shark had come over their barrier that they have. And
Wow.
Disney could never confirm that day. It was early in the morning, it was before the ship docked, but Disney could never confirm that they had gotten back out. So they restricted it was the Family Beach, Pelican, Plunge, like that those first 3 beaches. They restricted, water access all day long.
Wow.
So my whole the only place because I have such a big fear of
Yeah.
sharks, the only place I'll swim is Castaway Key and Lookout Key. There was a darn shark at
Yeah.
Castaway Key. And I was
Yeah.
like, "What are the chances?" Peter Benchley?
Uh, you brought it.
Uh,
You brought it with you.
yeah, yeah, but I did not know that till later, and I would probably still go in that water because obviously they're looking out for 'em and they're very, very safe. Um, we I'm not sure if I went back to Castaway on a cruise that went back to Castaway Key that I wouldn't do the same thing. It was so lovely to just have such a quiet ship and still be able to look out over the island
Mm.
and, appreciate it because it's beautiful.
I've done a lot of interviews with people going on Disney cruises, and I hear this very often. They like that time on the ship when it's quiet and others are off in a port.
Mhm.
That's not
And if I had smaller
no.
kids or not even that smaller kids that love the beach and I'd be down when I took the kids when they were little, we spent all every second we could down there.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really fun day.
Let's do
I
some
enjoyed that.
reflections as we get towards the end here, Jen. And if you've got anything that you didn't mention already, just think of those. But when you look back on this trip, is there a moment that you think you're going to remember?
I think all of it, but, having breakfast every morning, just kinda show up and, those early mornings, walking around the ship when it was so quiet and the sun was coming up,
Mm.
and the ship is just so from every angle, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, you
Uh,
sounds like you liked it better than your other ship experience.
the wish I was also worried about, how good of a time my husband was having. Not that he wasn't miserable or anything, but I was like, he's not loving it." Where I know Peyton was,
Right.
I wasn't worried about anything.
Yeah. Well, if another Disney geek was considering a cruise just like this one, what's that one piece of advice that you'd give them?
I would if it was the first time you were trying cruising in general, because I have, a lot of issues with, I have a lot of issues with motion sickness, and I wear my relief band, and I keep it on the whole time, like, it stays on the whole time when I'm cruising. Even when I sleep at night, it's still on level 3. And I would suggest maybe a smaller cruise, like the 4-night cruise, Wish Cruise, which was really good for me and Chuck because I learned that's not his thing. Like,
Yeah.
without having the kids, to do all the kids' things, it's just not his thing as an adult. So I'd recommend maybe a short Bahamas, easy on, easy off 4-night cruise, see if it's your thing, and then maybe stretch it out from there.
Yeah, you could combine it with a Disney World package.
You could. In my planning head, it's just too much to separate those 2.
Yeah.
Um, and I get down to Disney enough that
Yeah.
and it would be back in July and then September, so I didn't need to combine those things.
I like that piece of advice.
Yeah. Yeah. Just see if it's your thing, but I don't see how it's not.
I've never had anyone's I can't everyone raves about the cruises so much. I would be shocked to hear someone
Well, and it's not for everybody. Margita doesn't love it, right? The thought
well,
of it.
she's got a fear of open water and
It's
ocean.
so that's I do too. It really bothers me. Peyton and I went out and played shuffleboard one night, and the vastness of the ocean just kind of freaks me out. And I was feeling that at night when I couldn't see anything, and I get that. And but in the Bahamas, you kinda feel like you're always maybe it's not that deep where I'm over. Like, it feels safe.
I love telling the story when we went on our honeymoon in Jamaica, Montego Bay, and we did a little catamaran booze cruise. And I mean, I couldn't believe how much booze they put on the can. I was watching them dock at, at the dock. I was like, how long are we going for? Because like, there's only like six of us, like three couples or something. But
Lots of rum.
and I lived in the water as a kid. I am not afraid at all. I'm a good swimmer. And Margita, she says she doesn't really swim. She kind of sinks, is kind of her description of swimming. And, she's feeling pretty good halfway out there. They stop and you do the snorkels and the mask and the flippers. And I jump in like nothing. And like you were describing about the crystal clear water, when you're up on the boat and you look down, gosh, it looks like it's 3 feet deep.
Right. Looks
So I
safe.
so I jump in, I look down, it's gotta be 50 feet deep. And I and she was about ready to come in the water, and I looked up and I said, "Do not jump in this water. You stay up there. I'll go snorkeling with the
Yep.
the
Yeah.
guides."
Remember when, Typhoon Lagoon had Shark Reef?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake, well, the first time we went to Typhoon Lagoon, and he was 6 the first time we went, and Peyton was 2. And, we had told him about Tower of Terror, and he's like, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna do that." But we got to Typhoon Lagoon, and he said, "Mom, if I do Tower of Terror, will you do Shark Reef?"
Wow.
And I'm like, "Well, what the heck are you gonna say to that?"
That's a throwdown right there.
So I was like, "Sure, son, I'll try it." And all you did was, I don't know if you remember, but you'd step down on a ledge, and then you just swim right on top. They kept you swimming. It was, I don't even know how big it was. Um, like maybe 20, 30 yards. No, it was probably a little longer than that. And there was just sharks swimming down the bottom and other fish. And you just kind of floated right on top, and you're supposed to just keep going, keep going. And that was it. So my husband gathered the kids, or took Peyton up top where there's a bridge that went over it, and he was dying. He's like, "I don't even know how she's gonna do it because my fear is
Yeah.
paralyzing."
Yeah. No,
He
that's a
said,
phobia. It's a
"All I can
phobia.
hear."
It's more than a fear. It's
Jake
like,
Yeah, exactly. Jake took off, so I was like, Shit, I have to follow him." So I got in, and my husband said, he said, "You just froze." He's like, your arms and your legs went out, and you didn't go anywhere, you just froze." And he said, "All I could hear was you breathing out of your snorkel, like like panic breathing through my snorkel." And then eventually the people said that you have to keep moving, so I just shot right across.
yes,
But he
not
was like, and then he did Tower of Terror and loved it, so it worked out, but whew,
what moms will do for their
that's right.
kids.
When challenged.
Yeah, especially. All right, just got 2 more for you. When you got off the ship, what was that first thing you missed?
Uh, Having room service coffee with a croissant every morning at 7:30,
They didn't do that when you got back
looking at
home?
the ocean. They did not. It's a rude awakening. They do have a nice sit-down breakfast, and since the one advantage of late dining is that you have the later seating for debarkation day, and our flight wasn't until 2, so we had time to kill.
Hmm,
Um, so we sat down, for breakfast, and that was nice. I mean, they kind of rush you through it a little bit, but understandable. They have to turn an entire ship over by 1 o'clock. Like, they have the staterooms ready by 1:30.
wow. Yeah.
I would also spend the extra money, on a veranda. It really not just is so nice to be out on, but it really does add to the square footage of your room.
I've heard that, yeah. That's a great perk to have, to get that view, right?
Mhm.
Too. Mm,
If you Yeah, and you just feel like that room's not so small, but it was
yeah.
plenty big for, he'd make up. they have Our room has a couch that's a pull down that he makes into a bed, so usually that he would do that, but then he also has a key that brings down a bunk. So if you have more kids, he'll put that up
Ah,
there, but Peyton decided she wanted the bunk every night, so he made that up. for her.
Like,
She loved
comfortable?
that
The
bed.
bunk is comfortable? Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good. I
yeah.
love it.
I asked her top 5 things, and the bunk was one of them.
What else was on our top 5 things?
The spa, our time in the spa.
Yeah.
I guess so, Miss broke 27-year-old, I guess it was. Um, Lookout Key, she loved Lookout Key.
What was
Um,
it about Lookout Key? Because I don't think you gave me a lot of details on that. I know that you liked it.
so Castaway Key feels a little more like a Disney beach. Like it's it Lookout Key feels a little more like natural Bahamas. There's a
Uh,
few more waves where Lookout looks more like a bay. It's very calm, very still. Um, and Lookout, gosh, it's just so it's very lots of stone everywhere. There's these beautiful caves that Delaney and Peyton walked down. You can walk to the end of the beach and g- it's angled knee deep water and you walk around and you can walk into these caves.
yeah.
I'll see if she can send me pictures so I can show you. Um, but it's very natural, and they really focused on the culture of the Bahamian people and the people of Eleuthera.
Mm,
And it's apparent just in the way they've done everything, the way they've tried to preserve.
yeah.
Um,
So the natural beauty,
and they're natural. It's
the
just
yeah.
very natural feeling.
Yeah, I get that. So the vibe is the natural beauty and the culture of the people.
Mhm.
They feel authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
I remember someone else telling me that too. Love that because that's fairly new. It's great that they've done
Yeah,
something.
they had whatever kinks they had at first, and apparently the trees and the plants and the shrubbery and everything they've planted has grown so much. It's just beautiful.
Stunning.
I would book tomorrow. You can book a placeholder while you're on the ship,
Mm,
10% off a future cruise, and you have to book it within 2 years, and then if you don't, you just get the $250 back. But, if they had one that went to Lookout Key twice, like a double dip, which they might actually, I would do it in a second.
nice.
I'd book it today.
What did
So
she
Peyton said, the spa, Lookout, uh, the bunk. Oh, Jack Jack's Diaper Dash. They do. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I've heard.
Hilarious.
This
They
is
do like
the highlight of the cruise is the Jack Jack diaper
oh my gosh. So we
race.
went early. We grabbed our espresso martinis and went and got a spot on the deck above the atrium floor where the race was. And then her and I just bet on which babies were gonna win. And she ended up winning $20 off me because I
You're bet
picked the loser babies.
you're betting on the babies? I don't
We were
know.
definitely betting on the
Jen,
baby.
I don't know if that's cool or not. I don't know.
It's not cool is how they let me down so many times.
How
And then
old's
she just said the one disappointment was the popcorn, but she takes her Disney
uh,
popcorn very seriously, so that's understandable.
uh, did she ever do, I've heard a lot about does she like the popcorn at Magic Kingdom that's, in the candy store when you're leaving?
Can mix it up. No,
Yeah,
she just likes the stuff that
yeah.
comes right out of the
I always hear about it, and I've almost bought it
cart.
this time when I was there, but I was I don't know, I didn't feel like waiting. It was a long line, and then at the end, it's probably more candy than popcorn, but
Yeah, probably, which nothing wrong with that either.
no, it's
It's
just
just a vehicle at that point, like ice cream. It's just a vehicle for toppings.
some things interact with my stomach not so good these days.
Candied popcorn might be one of them. So she just likes the popcorn right out of the cart.
Yeah, I get it. It's so good.
Yep, but we never get her a, refillable bucket
Ah,
because we always have carry-on, we never have anywhere to put it. So she got one and she was so excited. She's like, "I'm gonna get popcorn like 3 times a day," and, it sucked. The popcorn sucked. So
oh, I'm
she was a little
sorry.
disappointed.
I'm sorry. I hope the spas made up for it in
I think everything
the
else definitely
martinis.
outweighed. Yes.
The martinis helped ease the
Oh,
pain.
I forgot I didn't tell you about the martini tasting. We had, our Nassau day, we had a 12 o'clock martini tasting at the Sky Lounge, which is this great lounge that, it has famous city skylines behind the bar. Just like it looks like you're overlooking the city. It's however they do the projections, overlooking the city at night. and then every 15 minutes or so,
Change
like,
it.
this
Mm. Yeah,
pixie dust
yeah.
comes down and it changes cities, so
I
it's
like
so fun
that.
to try to figure out what city.
I like that.
Um, but we made 5 we didn't make, he made 5 martinis, great bartender, and he just kinda explained the history of martini, how when you're making martinis, you wanna have, like, a 4-to-1 ratio, of your base, alcohol, and then a modifier, and then the flavor. And we did the vest for a pure martini, a raz, and then a Washington apple, and then a coconut Cadillac, I think it was. They were all I like either dirty martini or a very light pink Cosmo. These were mostly all too sweet for me. I don't usually do this much sweet, but it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
$50 and you got like 5 mini, very
Yeah.
strong martinis.
Yeah, that's fun, and yeah, good. That's a good deal. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, when you think back on the cruise, Jen, was it really about the ship and the destinations, or was it about spending that uninterrupted time with your daughter?
I think it was both, because I was really excited to go to those particular islands. Um, like, if we look at something else in the Caribbean, like, it's gonna be hard for me to decide what excursions we wanna take, and, like, you don't have to think about that when you go to Lookout and Castaway. You just get out and enjoy the beach, and we like that.
Yeah,
Um, but it was definitely we definitely, we're pretty bonded anyway, but we definitely enjoyed that time together.
I love it. Yeah, that's a great point. If you are looking for another one down the road, you mean if you went to somewhere like Jamaica or the bigger the places where they have big excursions. I know they do in Jamaica or sure many of the Caribbean islands they do. You think
Mhm.
you might be tempted to be a tourist instead of just sitting back at the pool and in the deck of the ship.
Right, and that's I'm looking at it. I think the, itineraries are out through 2027, and I find myself looking at them from a perspective of which ship it is versus the itinerary.
You wanna try a new ship?
I mean, maybe, the fantasy kind of checked all my boxes, what I enjoy on a cruise, and again, that's not what I would even say maybe most of the cruisers on a Disney cruise are looking for.
Mhm.
In their kids clubs and stuff, but it definitely I'd like to try smaller ships again, the Magic and the Wonder, but they're mostly, like, in Alaska or San Diego going down to Mexico. They can get, like they'll go to Europe because they're smaller and they can get into
Hmm.
other
It's
places,
interesting.
smaller places.
I can't think of in interviewing folks if I've ever heard someone talk about the ship itself mattering that much to them as you're giving.
Right. But then I enjoy the time on the ship
Yeah.
unapologetically. I mean, we don't we take advantage of, like, some of the entertainment, but the main dining, the menu every night, that's not the stuff that's important to us
Mm,
or to me.
nice. What a great time. I
Yeah,
thank you so much for being such a supporter of us in all
always.
ways and hanging out with us when we're down in the parks and stuff. Jen, it's so good to see you. I hope you're it's been so cold. I don't know. When summer's it's probably gonna hit us hard and it's gonna be hot right away, but I hope you have a great summer.
That's okay. I would rather hot that I don't mind
I know.
the
I'm ready.
July.
Let me see. I stand up a little bit. I wanna see your shirt there. You got a Mickey
It was
Mouse.
from,
That looks like
Illuminations.
that
It was
which Mickey
the
Mouse is that? That's like the modern Mickey Mouse.
yeah, which I don't love, but it was, when Illuminations 2019 when it shut down.
Oh, yeah, cool. But it's got, like, the fireworks and stuff
Yeah.
with Mickey. I like that shirt. Good one. I got my Steve Miller Band, so I'm not in
You're not as cool as me, but you're pretty close.
I'm proper attire tonight. Jen, it's always great to talk to you. I'm so glad to have this time with you, and I hope you stay in touch.
Of course we will. Of course we will, and congratulations to you and the family on your new
Yeah,
exciting news.
we're very excited for another
A new
it's a
Disney little girl.
we're excited. We're gonna be taking Johnny next year in February, and we were thinking about it a lot on our trip, how our
Ugh,
trip is gonna be different. We're gonna go with probably a crew with his other grandparents, and I'm totally cool with it. I know how to deal with any situation, I think. I have
Right, you do, and you can give them the
does
gift of, not getting it all done, not burning the kid out. Because remember I took my great niece, Ellie last year. Peyton and I took Casey and Ellie and Pat for Ellie's 4th birthday, and it was, we didn't do a lot because we wanted to make sure she got to
yeah,
bed early enough and didn't burn her out, and she got to nap, and we knew we'd be back, so we just really took it easy, and it was such a success. We're going back in July for
and I just know that
the
I don't get a lot of time with him, so anytime I get, there's gonna be a moment where it's just we're gonna have those memories. If someone were to ask me in
for
my
sure.
trip report, "What's your favorite memory?" It's probably something totally unexpected, but a moment shared with him, like
It will be.
learning
Looking
that
at the ducks off to the side.
the characters, who knows what I mean, it might not be Disney related, but when I saw him playing air guitar to the Beatles, let me tell you,
You're doing something right.
that's gonna be hard to top, but
Love that for you guys.
so thank you, Jen, for everything. Take care. Tell Chuck
You're welcome.
we said hi and
Absolutely, I
come back
will. I'll
again.
be down. He's taking his once every 2-year trip in September. We'll be golfing and maybe dipping into Epcot.
I wanna hear all about it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, pal.
Alright, see ya.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
What a great conversation. Huge thank you to my pal, Jen Batchelder, for coming back on the show and sharing her Disney Cruise Line adventure with us. I always enjoy talking Disney with Jen, and I especially enjoyed hearing how much this trip was more about than just the cruise itself. Of course, there's beautiful islands, great food, trivia contests, spa days, and all the Disney magic you'd expect, but what really stood out was the chance to unplug, recharge, and spend meaningful time with Peyton. And honestly, that's something a lot of us can relate to. As our kids get older, those opportunities become even more special. Sometimes the best Disney memories aren't the big headline moments, they're the quiet mornings, the unexpected laughs, and the simple joy of being together. How about you? Are you ready to book a great vacation? Thanks to everyone who supports the show through the travel in tiaras. When you book a Disney vacation, Disney Cruise Line sailing, Universal trip, or transfer an existing reservation to Margita and Judy, helping support the podcast and everything we do here in the geeking community. Supporting them supports the show, and we really appreciate every single one of you. Email them travelintiaras@gmail.com. And to our Patreon family, thank you so much for your support. That's a website you can go to pledge a donation to the show, and those contributions help keep the podcast going, help cover the costs of producing the show week after week. I've been looking to do some behind the scenes things with my website. Still checking things out. Been really busy at work. Doing more tech, unplugging sounds good, but I am working on it behind the scenes as always, and I appreciate your support for the podcast. Joining our amazing Patreon community is awesome. Patreon.com/geekin on WDW for that. And now I want to hear from you. Are you a Disney Cruise Line fan? Everyone I've ever talked to is. You got a favorite ship, an island, a restaurant, or an onboard experience? Or maybe you've had one of those special vacations where the real magic came from simply spending time together. Jump into the Facebook group, let us know. And if you have a Disney trip report, cruise story, planning strategy, or favorite Disney memory you'd like to share, reach out to me. Kurt.stone@geekinonww.com is my email. I'm always looking for future guests and future conversations with fellow Disney geeks like my pal Jen and all of you who make my podcasting so much fun. Thank you so much for listening and going geeking on Walt Disney World with us. We love this community. We love you geeks. Until next time, keep taking care of each other. Have a magical day, and may all your dreams come true.
Says we're recording.
just in case. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
backup. That's a backup. 'Cause I get 2 audio channels with on here, which is good. All right. I'm gonna just minimize us so I can see questions in case I need them. In case I start to sound like a doofus.
Don't sound like a doofus, Kurt. Please. Please.
I don't want to get embarrassed in front of Jen. I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't know. I'm getting too
Easy to
old.
do.
I think I'm getting too old to be embarrassed. I should not be. I should not have a care in the world.
Right. You're a professional. You've done this plenty.
It's good. My audience has from day I just really amazes me that people can get on, first of all, with a decent audio enough, and they're prepared. Because when I prepare for mine, I feel like, wow, I'm asking a lot of my audience to come on. It's and then especially if they don't know me, they could be scared. But
Yeah, I have the sort of the same technology for work, so
yeah, I
that
think
was
that
not sure I would have it if
I think you hit on something though. That's true. A lot of people will have equipment because of their work. That does absolutely help. Or they've got a spouse that helps them get set up. I have that too.
no, definitely. I've got an AV guy for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, let's go.